Dr. Fauci, on the question of a vaccine, we don't have a vaccine for SARS. I mean, they got close in mice. We don't have a vaccine for HIV, and life did go on, right? So the idea that we're definitely going to have a vaccine, we didn't really approach much else in the same way as we're pegging going back to normal with a vaccine, did we?
Well, no, but Laura, this is different. HIV/AIDS is entirely different. We don't have a vaccine for HIV/AIDS, but we have spectacularly effective treatment. People who invariably would have died years ago right now are leading essentially normal lives. SARS is a different story. SARS disappeared. We developed a vaccine. We were in the process of going through the various phases. We showed it was safe. We showed it induced a good response, and then SARS disappeared, and we didn't need to develop a vaccine for SARS. So I think it's a little bit misleading maybe to compare what we're going through now with HIV or SARS. They're really different.
But we don't know. This could disappear. I mean, SARS did pretty much disappear. This could as well, correct?
Yeah. You know, anything could, Laura, but I have to tell you, the degree of efficiency of transmissibility of this is really unprecedented in anything that I've seen. It's an extraordinarily efficient virus in transmitting from one person to another. Those kind of viruses don't just disappear.
Wow.
Ooh, good morning. Welcome to Morning Joe. It is Friday, April 17th, long week. Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have MSNBC national affairs analyst, co-host of Showtime's The Circus, and editor-in-chief of The Recount, John Heilman, and co-founder and CEO of Axios, Jim VandeHei. Good to have you all on board. That was a bit disturbing.
Well, something's happening.
What's the angle there?
There's an angle, and we'll be asking this morning what's exactly going on. It's very interesting, Willie. Yesterday, I don't know if you saw this, but Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil, TV doctors, were going out basically saying people are going to die. They're going to die. Something's going on here, and it's interesting that I saw a tweet this morning from Morton Overby. He said, notice how the people who at first didn't take this pandemic seriously and then tried to gaslight you about understanding it sooner than anyone, now that mitigation works, are the first people who are saying we shouldn't take it seriously again. So a lot of the same people that mocked the medical experts and said it was the media's new hoax to overplay this pandemic. At the same time, Donald Trump was saying it's 15 people and soon it'll be down to 0. Then came out and said, oh, yeah, we knew this before anybody else. And now they're trying to do it. Well, here, let's play Dr.
This is Tuesday night.
This is Dr. Phil. Let's play this Dr. Phil from last night. Listen to Dr. Phil from last night. And let's try to figure out what the hell is going on.
250 people a year die from poverty, and the poverty line is getting such that more and more people are going to fall below that because the economy is crashing around us, and they're doing that because people are dying from the coronavirus. I get that, but look, the fact of the matter is we have people dying. 45,000 people a year die from automobile accidents, 480,000 from cigarettes, 360,000 a year from swimming pools, but we don't shut the country down for that. But yet we're doing it for this.
I mean, Willie, the stupidity of that, I'll let others explain just how stupid that is. And here's another TV doctor, Dr. Oz, just saying, yeah, kids are going to die. Here, roll the tape.
I tell you, schools are a very appetizing opportunity. I just saw a nice piece in The Lancet arguing that the opening of schools may only cost us 2 to 3% in terms of total mortality. And, you know, that's any life is a life lost. But to get every child back into a school where they're safely being educated, being fed, and making the most out of their lives with a theoretical risk in the backside, it might be a trade-off some folks would consider.
Willie, 2 to
walk it back last night, but
2 to 3% mortality for our children? I mean, my God, it is, again, as Dr. Fauci said, it is unprecedented. I want to show you one more thing that I saw. I don't sleep much, especially during this crisis. I saw this in the early morning. I think it was Eric Erickson put up this chart. Eric, a conservative, and he said, this is not the flu. And this is the New Atlanta sources of CDC COVID test tracking project. Look at these lines. Here's Dr. Oz's car crashes. You've got the flu, the 2017, Dr. Phil, 2017-2018 flu, the 57-58 Asian flu with pneumonia. And, I mean, look at the line that goes up for COVID-19. That's what Eric Erickson put out. He also told the story, Willie, of a nurse who wouldn't talk to him in 2016 because he didn't support Donald Trump, who got off of Facebook yesterday because she's so saddened by all of her friends saying that this is overblown when she's never seen anything like this in her 20 years of nursing. And as Dr. Fauci said, this is unprecedented. It's not going to just go away. That doesn't mean we don't have to figure out, as we've been saying here, the balance between reopening the economy and the pandemic. But lives are going to be lost because of the propaganda that is being spewed out there. And it really has started the past couple of days by so many different, Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz and so many other people.
Yeah, you had the tale of three doctors that you just showed, all on Fox News, speaking to the Fox News audience. Dr. Fauci brought information. I think it's important for doctors to go all over the place and talk to all those audiences. He rebutted Laura Ingram's theory about HIV there, point by point, and just presented facts. The other two doctors, Drs. Oz and Phil, both very smart men. So then you ask yourself, what's going on there? Dr. Phil knows that the reason the economy was shut down is because this is contagious. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, in a way that car crashes and swimming pool drownings are not. So that's why the economy was shut down. So you wonder what's going on. I think the problem with TV doctors is they think about TV ratings and they think about TV audiences, and they know where they are, and they know that where they are on those two shows, there was some skepticism about the plan to shut down the economy and the ongoing stay-at-home orders across these states, and they fed into that and they played into that. The problem is they both have huge followings, huge audiences who listen to their every word, and they know better. Both of those guys know better. They're not dumb guys. So what are they up to? That's the question.
Bill Clinton once said
something with Trump.
Bill Clinton once said, if there's a turtle on top of a fence post, it didn't just get there by accident. Somebody put it there. And if something, John Heilman, I've always told my kids, if something doesn't make sense, like there's a reason it doesn't make sense. There's something going on. So do you have any insight politically? Here we have the president saying he's Mussolini a couple of days ago, mad dictator with ultra-constitutional powers. And then a couple of days later, we find out, as Mika said before, that he's really just a Wizard of Oz. He's this fat little man behind a curtain, pushing a lot of buttons, saying, I'm in power. Now he's going, you guys do whatever you want to do. At the same time, you've got doctors, all these TV doctors. Oh, we've got to get back to work. Are they trying to set up governors like in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania? Am I being too cynical here? Are they trying to take the blame off of Donald Trump because he still doesn't have testing down? We still can't safely reopen the government? Or what the hell is going on? Why are these, I guess they're real doctors. I've never seen their certificates. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can get evidence today that they're real doctors, but nobody's this ignorant.
No. Something's
going on. Do you have any insights into what the hell's going on here? Why they're putting millions of Americans' lives at risk? Why they're talking about 2 to 3% of children dying being cool? Because, I said a couple weeks ago, the argument by some people in the Trumpist faction was, let the greatest generation die. It's going to happen. So we once again rolled out the whole 2 to 3% mortality BS, where our children and our grandparents can die. And you know what? That's just the cost of running an economy. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I do not know anything about the personal relationships between either doctors, the single name doctors, Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil, with Donald Trump. And I don't really know anything about the political affiliations of either one of those doctors. So I'll just start there. But I do think that as Donald Trump has gotten closer to this, to what's inevitable, we know that the economy is going to reopen. We also know that the economy is going to reopen in phases. It was always the case. What we all know is Donald Trump does not have any authority one way or the other, either to shut down the economies in these states. He didn't have that authority. He also doesn't have the authority to open up the economies in these states. Those authorities rest with the governors. Donald Trump can exhort. He can try to persuade. He can try to move the doctors through argumentation, through threats, through bribes, through whatever, but he can't order anybody to do anything. It's clear that Donald Trump is fixated on re-election. We know that. It's clear that Donald Trump looks at these unemployment numbers across, especially the states he knows he needs to win in the fall, and is terrified of the fact that a prolonged economic downturn, the likes of which we are almost certain to see, is imperiling his re-election every day. And he is willing to gamble the lives of Americans to try to restart these economies because he knows that that is the only pretext or premise or argument that he has to make. It always was the case. The only lifeboat for Donald Trump was the economy. So is Donald Trump trying to set up a situation right now whereby he can somehow figure out a way to get credit for the economy opening up while somehow blaming someone else, or at least setting up the notion that the death that's going to happen if any economy is opened up prematurely, any state economy is opened up prematurely, that death is kind of the cost of doing business, acceptable levels of mortality. That's just the price we're going to have to pay, either to offload the blame directly onto governors or to just essentially say that was the inevitable cost of what we had to do. I think that's where he's trying to get to. What these doctors have to gain from propagating that view and from standing alongside Donald Trump, other than the weird satisfaction that a lot of people seem to get from standing in the glow of Donald Trump or getting a pat on the head from him on television. I do not know if they have some financial game they're playing, but there's no doubt that that is what Trump's trying to get done here. Wants to open up these economies and somehow wants to get the credit for putting people back to work while not taking any of the blame if there are outbreaks in these states going forward, which they inevitably will be if these states do get ahead of themselves and open up too soon without testing and tracking and all that other stuff.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.